John, Treasurer Joe Hockey is saying that expenditure is going to do the heavy lifting in the budget. And you're actually a strong believer that it would be easier for us all and systemically quite possible for basically revenue growth over the years to cover most of the problem. Is that right?
Yeah, well, the reason I say that because I don't think, realistically, we've got an ageing population and there's plenty of evidence supporting that, plenty of fact-finding commissions from 2000 demographic reports. Just acknowledge that. And once you acknowledge that, you know that the expenditure base of the government's going to go from wherever it is now, around 23-24% of GDP. We've got a bit of a hiccup this year, but it's going to be sustainably above 26 to 27%. That's what it's going to be.
Is that the end of the universe as we know it?
Well, not until when you compare us to the rest of the world. The rest of the world, Europe, America, North America, Japan have budget expenditures way higher than that, much higher, like 10% higher, consistently.
So do you feel that this business about 24, this imaginary limit of 24% of government expenditure is just a confected number?
Well, it's confected and it's called a structural deficit. There was always going to be a deficit with an ageing population if you don't adjust your tax rates and broaden it, in particular broaden it. So we're just talking about the obvious, and there's this philosophical debate about how to correct it. Now, in the middle of the 10 years we're talking about from now to 2024, Australia's population is going to grow by circa 2.5 to 3 million people, right? And circa 2 million people, unfortunately, are going to move into retirement in the period from 2015 to 2025, 2 million people. So we've got
But that's actually a balancing act, isn't it?
Well, we need to balance it with immigration. Because clearly you can't balance it with birth rates because it takes 20 years for those people to become productive, but you need to balance it with immigration. Now, the immigration argument is pretty strong for Australia. Everyone wants to come here. And what we need to do is choose who comes here and why they're coming here and what qualities we want from them to help the economy.
Do you feel politicians are shying away from that topic a little bit?
It's a debate they don't want to have, because I think the immigration policies in Australia have been closed door, and it's been open door, closed door, open door. We haven't sort of controlled.
It's been ad hoc.
Very ad hoc. And it doesn't need to be. And particularly in the Asian region now, I think we are seeing a dramatic lift in the standard of living and the standard of education across Asia.
Absolutely. From
a low base to a still low base, but we're seeing that. Now, those people do certainly want to move if they can. Australia is a great possibility. And of course in Europe we've now got massive unemployment. Now there'd be unemployment of people with high quality, similarly in America. So there's great opportunity to say, look, we want that sort of person to come here.
But are you also saying, John, that by increasing the immigration, we're actually going to, I realise that will make more impact on infrastructure, but it will also broaden the base of taxpayers, and it would actually balance out our the demographic bulge, if you like, that we wouldn't have this great lump of old people and nobody in the workforce.
So I guess what we're saying is you actually have a proper policy which encapsulates tax, expenditure, immigration, population growth, and try and manage it on a decade view, but don't look at numbers on a bit of paper. If you take a broad analysis, then you can work yourself through this problem. And Australia is in a fantastically unique position in terms of its position in Asia, its low per capita population to land mass.
Well, we're the only one who can actually adjust our population fairly quickly.
Exactly. So, we don't panic. What you do is want to have a rational debate, and what I'm seeing is completely irrational debate. It's scary. And you can see now we're seeing some effect on consumer behaviour, the tax changes,
consumer confidence just goes down through the floor.
We heard that from National Bank CEO yesterday. I mean, it's unfortunate, because I think if we had leadership from both sides of Parliament said, look, this is where we're going, and we want to come together and agree to strategy, whoever's the government, this is the 10-year strategy for this country, that would be much better than what we had this schmozzle where both sides just disagree.
That's right. And meantime, one last question, where are you on the debt levy, if indeed it happens, as it seems to be on the way?
Well, clearly what's happened is that it's had to be adjusted up in terms of where it cuts in. That cuts the amount of money paid, so we're now going to excise duty on petrol to compensate. So it's a schmozzle, caused of course by the promises of no new taxes. So,
and I assume lots of people in the higher tax brackets will do what they've always done, which is to adjust their earnings downwards by all the various methods legally available to them.
Adjust their earnings and get more earnings through their superannuation. People earning a lot of money through super and not paying tax and getting money back from the government. How you can put a surcharge on people working and not put a surcharge on people earning massive income through super is bizarre.
That's one for another day, John. Thanks very much.
Thanks.